Direct Talk. This is Frank Lloyd Mamaril, and this is Direct Talk.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Direct Talk with me, Frank Lloyd Mamaril. Thank you so much for tuning in to my podcast, and thank you for all of your support for our last few episodes that I just finished 2 weeks ago. Thank you so much. And yeah, so I'm really excited for this next episode because we're going to be talking about something that's very close to my heart and people who are close to my heart. So, our topic for today is finding a mentor. I think for the most part, most successful people had mentors or still have mentors because these mentors are the people who have taught them well most of what they know, and at the same time they they mold you into becoming the best that you can be. Wow, big words. But yeah, I love talking about mentors because I did and I still have one. And not just one, but a lot. I have a lot of mentors in so many aspects of my life. And people know me as a director. People know me as a video director, an event director, a concert director. But before I delve into directing, I actually was a musician first. I was a singer and I was a piano player, pianist. Um yeah. So I remembered, well, while I was studying in elementary, my first mentor, which I considered my mentor, was my piano teacher. I could still remember the day when um all throughout my elementary days, like grade 1 or grade 2, I remember that I really wanted to play the piano. I would always like, well, the internet wasn't that accessible to everyone yet, but every time I see like an electric piano or an organ or a piano, I would always go to the piano and just press the keys, even if I didn't know how to use it, or just just press it, ganyan. And I remember my dad had this friend of his that had an electric piano, and I would always want to go to his place because I wanted to just press the piano and just listen to, even though I didn't know what I was playing, diba? And yeah, so going back to the story, it's that first piano teacher uh that I considered my first mentor in the things that I do. And what I could remember lang was his name was Mr. Mondragon. Wow, Mr. Mondragon. Wherever you are, if you're still listening to this, if you're listening to this, thank you so much for teaching me how to play the piano. I remember um how he discovered me that I really wanted to play was during my elementary days. There's this bodega wherein there's an old piano that sits there. So every after school, I would go to that bodega and just open the piano up. This is an upright grand piano. This is just an upright grand piano, and I would sit in the chair and just press the keys of the piano. And I remember that day when that teacher came into the room and saw me play, and then sat down and just played wonderful music with that piano. And what's uh what's nice was that he offered me to actually teach me how to play the piano. And I could remember I didn't think we paid a dime or anything for that teacher. It was really just someone who saw talent, or who saw someone who's interested in the craft, and just teach. Yeah. I guess that's one characteristic of a good mentor. You just finding that person that cares about your craft, or cares about what you want to be in the future. And at this point in my life, I just really just want to play music. And at the same time, while I was playing the piano, I was competing for singing contests back in the Marianas Islands. Um, I I took up my elementary in the Marianas Islands. It's in a little island called Rota. So Rota was a small island which is less like as big as I don't know, Quezon City, just as big as Quezon City. So there, and yeah, and that mentor taught me how to play the piano, and after that I would play in the church. I would now play while singing, and that also led me to some competitions. Yeah, I was doing competitions, and yeah, I would win. I would win, and that was one of the best times of my life as well when I started singing. And did you guys know that I also was a dancer before? Parang lahat na yata ng talent gusto kong gawin. So, I think latter parts of elementary I did dancing. We were competing. Nakipaglaban kami with inter-island dancing, and of course I was part of a dance troupe. The Filipino community in that area. So we would dance in parties and events, and yeah. And my mentor for dancing, if I think I could still remember, was Mrs. Bautista. Diba? I would still remember Mrs. Bautista. And yeah. So because her kids were also part of the dance group that would also teach me how to dance and teach me uh yeah, stuff. And we were the representatives of our area, which is fun. I mean, I got to excuse myself from classes because of that. And I remember they also taught me how to pick my songs for the competition as well. And yeah, and an unsung mentor that I had when I was still doing uh, contests was my mom, because my mom also sings. So we used to do duets, and I used to play the piano and sing, and she would also do the duet as well. And we would do karaoke, and yeah, so I didn't have that much of formal lessons in singing yet until I did my ABS-CBN workshops. So that was my introduction to the performing arts back when I was in the elementary, and those are the mentors that I had since then. So why am I telling you this story? I actually just want to tell you guys that mentors are really important. The importance of finding a mentor is because it teaches you to depend on someone for the knowledge that you want to gain. I mean, you don't just get it from the air, or yes, you can read books, but it's always nice when you have someone that you can talk to and actually like a personal level of interaction rather than just reading it off the book. It's better when you experience it yourself, and you experience it through the, well, big word na lang, parang tutelage of your mentor, 'di ba? And ako honestly, when I was in college, I didn't know much about people that I wanted to have as my mentor in directing, because I didn't know any Filipino directors that I could just, you know, na parang go there and just have myself apprenticed. It's not like that during my time, because remember I came from the Marianas Islands and came to the Philippines, so I was new, and it's not as if I knew people. That's why it's really making my way up to where I am today. So I think well, my most how do I say it? in college kasi I used to be part of the cable network of the school. It's called the Tomasian Cable TV. And of course, I did have a lot of mentors there because that's where I honed my talents as a director. So the people that came before me in that organization taught us about everything that we needed to know in producing shows and directing as well. And that's where I learned how to direct at first. But of course, a notable person that taught me everything that I know about TV and is Ma'am Faye. So Ma'am Faye is my teacher from first year college until fourth year. Super tagal. Super tagal na nun. So yun. So she's a very loud lady. Let me tell you this. She's very loud. Um she's very loud because that's her personality. But I like it in a way because it boosts my confidence and it boosts my energy. Kasi nga maingay, 'di ba? Pero yeah, but other than that, na parang bilang maingay, I think she's engraved in me a lot of things that what I know today in directing. Because that's based from experience. Although she's not like as in a director talaga now. She's more of uh, a teacher and a producer. But either way, I mean, she really did uh made me who I am today as a director. Wow, big words yun ah. And then also, I also would like to thank yung mga workshops that I did. Small workshops that I did made me what I am today because I picked like little information or little parts of the workshop and put them all together. And when you put them all together, you'll find out na parang ang dami mo pa na parang alam because ang dami mong pinagdaanan na workshops of people who are in the field. It's nice to have mentors who are really in the field also. That's also one trait that maybe we could consider. Kasi parang if they're on the field, then they really know what they're talking about and they really know parang how it is based from experience. But then again, syempre ang mga mentors natin, they're not perfect people. Do not think of your mentors as if they're gods. They are not. They're there to actually forge the way for you. But I'm not belittling mentors. I love mentors. But when you get mentors, get their good traits and avoid their bad habits. I guess that's also one tip that I could give in this podcast. Na parang get the good habits of your mentor but avoid the bad habits. 'Di ba? You will see that naman eh. You will see that naman when you're so but don't feel bad na parang you think na parang you're not following your mentors to the dot. Mentors are really just there to help you forge the way to your career. That's I think mentors are path forgers that lead you to where you want to be, but it will always be your decision. Diba? You have a mentor, but then it will always be your decision where you want to go. Parang your mentors are also your ano eh, your tawag nito, konsensya. Ganyan. You can ask them for their opinions, but it will always be you. It will always be your decision. Yan. So, moving on, having mentors and getting to where you want to be, it will, well, for me, kasi from based from experience, I will always say this, na parang all throughout this podcast and my next episodes, I say these things on the podcast because this is based from experience and how I see the world and how I see it um being better or how I see it, 'di ba? So, ako, I always have issues on work ethic. I think the people who know me knows about this. Parang work ethic is also important when you really want to move forward in your career. And work ethic is about knowing your place and knowing that you're not stepping on anyone when you move up. Although it is inevitable, I will not lie. I will not lie that it's inevitable. But At the same time, you have to work on work ethic because that is what will set you apart from others, and that would make you lovable by a lot of people. Because at the end of the day, being great in the field is not about how many projects you gain, but it's about how people see you in the industry. So work ethic is really important. uh this goes with like having mentors. Of course, your mentors are also syempre, uh like a higher, or a person who came in first before you, diba? And then they became your mentor. So at the end of it, well, inevitable as it may seem, sometimes they become competitors. But dapat hindi mo siya ganun tignan. Don't consider your mentors as competitors, but yeah, leave them as mentors. So how do you do that? Of course, ako being specific about it. If you have clients that your mentor has already gotten projects with, it would be nice if you would tell your mentor that you're gonna do a project for it. It really means a lot when people do that. Ako, I see it actually, even me, like even now, if I get projects from outside and then I know who directed it first before me, I would actually text the person and then tell them pasintabi po, and tell them na I will do this project and I hope it's okay. And yeah, 'di ba? Para at least you have their blessing, and hindi masakit sa loob, or hindi, you don't have anything na to bear in your heart na parang, oh my gosh, I took their project. So parang, 'di ba? So ganun. So yun, 'di ba? I hope that it's a simple podcast today. It's very simple. I leave it at that. I mean, work ethic will always be important for people who want to move up in this industry, and find a mentor that would really build your character or build your career towards where you want to be. And respect the mentor as well. Ako, I really respect the mentors that I have, and I I always um am so happy when I get to work with them also on the field. So it becomes like a challenge for me, because I need to make sure that everything that I learned from this person, syempre, is being done. Di ba? Ako nga pala, isa sa directing, ang dami talaga eh. Kaya, di ba, si Ma'am Faye, tapos nandiyan pa si Ate Alea, nandiyan pa si Kuya Roman, nandiyan pa si Direct Ed. Si Direct Ed was my teacher in college for directing for TV, Ed Villarante. And then, yeah, when I was in, in ABS-CBN, yun, I got to meet the other directors na din. And ako, I with the other directors naman that came before me, I watched them from afar. And I watched them from afar, and I still dream of working with them, and dream for collaborating with these great people who came before me. And yeah, so yun. So that's at the end of the day, really, being great in the field is not about how many projects that you have. It's how people see you in the industry. And to end this vlog, I'd also like to say about being mentored is you also have to be you also have to learn how to be mentored, you know. Mahirap kasing turuan ng taong ayaw magpaturo, 'di ba? Mahirap ding magturo sa taong ayaw tanggapin ang tinuturo mo, 'di ba? So you have to learn how to be mentored. And when the time comes, you must be mentors to others. It really feels good that you have imparted your knowledge to someone or to a group of people. Ako, I used to teach. I taught, diba, sabi ko nga, I taught 5 years in De La Salle College of St. Benilde. And to this day, I am so lucky to have taught in that school, and also in a state university of Valenzuela, ay pamantasan ng lungsod ng Valenzuela, because I got to mentor like young people who I would say like, well, I'd like to think that look look up on me, and just and look at their how they've achieved in life already after you have mentored them. So yeah, so nakakatuwa lang. And yeah, so that ends my podcast for today. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. And yeah, and don't forget, if you want content like this, do subscribe to my podcast, and also you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. It could help me grow in that YouTube channel. I post a lot of travel videos and behind the scenes of the projects that I do. And yeah, and all my social media handles. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in today, and remember, invest in adventures. It's super worth it. Promise.
Direct Talk. This is Frank Lloyd Mamaril, and this is Direct Talk.